Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Woodlawn Station. My name is Chris Gambino, and I'm joined by Colin McGee and Dominic Noto. Before we start, a couple of announcements. First of all, congratulations to Landon Popovic, host of the Empire State of Sports, for being a finalist in IBS for his sports talk show, for best sports talk show, rather. And also congratulations to the Ball Knowers for this week's show of the week. Watch Ball Knowers Thursdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., hosted by Robbie, Luke, and Cameron. So we got some bad news, and we're going to follow that up with more bad news with Gerrit Cole having Tommy John surgery. He's out for the season. He's going to miss some of next season as well. The ace of the Yankees is gone.
Yeah, and they even said 16 to 18 months. So best case scenario, we're not going to see him for, next summer.
Yeah.
Which is, you guys will have graduated by then,
Yeah.
We'll both have graduated by then, but you
yeah.
guys will be another year through. Not feeling very good. That is not the way that you want to start the season, obviously.
I think it's as bad as news gets.
Yeah, absolutely. That is probably outside of actually, you know what? The last time we mentioned, let's hope Gerrit Cole stays healthy. I'm not even going to mention the alternative situations that could have happened.
Right.
But we are not starting in a good spot. Not the way that you want to start the season. Gerrit Cole, obviously the Yankees ace. I mean, Max Fried's gonna have to step up big. That he's gonna have to show why he earned that contract. He's really gonna have to earn it now. Carlos Rodon has to step up again. He needs to do better than he did last year. Even though last year was a pretty solid year for him, he needs to do better than he did last year and show why he got paid so much money. Clark Schmidt, we need him to step up. I mean, everyone in that rotation needs to step up now. And the lineup needs to be good. And we can't have this because I'm feeling like in the middle about it. They can't just be okay. They need to be good. They need to be pretty good. So I'm a little bit frightened, a little bit scared.
You're very right to be.
Yeah, I don't think we're the best team in the East anymore. I don't think I can make that argument. I don't think I could say in good conscience that we're better than the Red Sox at this very moment. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. I mean, we could end up being better, but considering how old this team is, considering the injuries that have already happened, and Giancarlo Stanton having question marks already, because that could be season ending as well. Not in a good spot, not in a good start to the season, but it is what it is. Hopefully they rebound. Hopefully they get out of the gate strong. Hopefully we see some strong performances from those guys. Specifically Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, Aaron Judge coming back out doing his thing. Cody Bellinger's looked pretty good in spring, so hopefully he shows the same during the season. Paul Goldschmidt as well. Austin Wells get back to where we know he can be. It's not over yet. The season is not over. I mean, it hasn't even started. It's not even April yet, but definitely not the ideal way to start the season.
And this is kind of the reason why, at least back during last season, we heard so much why fans were kind of critical of Brian Cashman at the deadline. A lot of fans felt like that Cashman should have made more moves to go for more of a World Series run. They ended up still going to the World Series. Many people argue more should have happened because the big question with this Yankees core always was, what was the window? And obviously with Giancarlo Stanton also having injury concerns right now, hopefully we don't also lose him for the season. That would be a disaster, losing both Stanton and then Cole for the entirety of 2025. But this is why you really push all your chips to the front of the table. And listen, Los Angeles Dodgers did it. A lot of other teams in baseball have done it, where you go all out to try to win a championship, spend as much as you can. And this is why. When you have a bunch of players, especially when your best players are in their mid to late 30s, injuries happen more often. I said this earlier on the show. I remember a couple of months back. I didn't want it to be true, but we're starting to see it be true. These guys are starting to get hurt more often, and it sucks as a fan to see Gerrit Cole go down, but it's kind of the inevitability with age, and it's the inevitability with baseball. So, it sucks to see. It hurts to see. Thankfully, the Max Fried signing is even more important now because Max Fried really is being expected to be the ace of this team. You need Carlos Rodon to get back to what he was before he came to the Yankees. He needs to kind of reassume that 2022 form that he had. You really need Will Warren, especially, to step up and be this key contributor in the rotation. Marcus Stroman, he can't do the thing he always does where he falls off in the second half of the season. That can't happen. you're also asking a lot out of Clark Schmidt as well. He's got to be a steady, consistent force. And it's kind of something we were talking about before even we heard this Cole injury news. A lot of this season depended on a lot of what ifs. What if Jason Dominguez reaches his potential? What if Austin Wells and Anthony Volpe can improve? That's why I'm skeptical of this Yankee season. It's just too many question marks for me, too much things that you have to rely on and depend on. If it works out, it's great. I think this team goes back to the playoffs and still can compete for a World Series. If it doesn't work out, this could be a lot like 2023. It could be an 82, 83, 84 win season.
Yeah.
So it really is just a roll of the dice, and it's just such a gut and blow to see Gerrit Cole go down.
And here's the thing, right? And I know we're all talking about how bad of news this is, but I just think it really needs to be understood just how bad this is. That this is probably the second most important player on the roster, Gerrit Cole, the ace of this team. And being the ace for the past couple of years for this team since joining the team in 2020, his ability to pitch almost at least 200 innings every year in and year out.
His durability was his best trait.
Durability is also his mind when it came to this game, how passionate he was about playing and always willing to learn more and be a mentor for other guys. He means so much to this team. And now you look at this team in their postseason run last year. We all know Aaron Judge's struggles. Soto's gone, Stanton's gone, and now Gerrit Cole, the ace of the team down the stretch in the postseason, is also gone. So the three most important players in the postseason last year, the reason you got to the World Series, they're all gone. They're not on this team. They probably won't be. Maybe Stanton comes back at some point, but two of those three are indefinitely gone. And so the Yankees, the news we got is that they're recovering. They're recovering, I think, 75% of his salary for this season, which is $27 million of the $36 million in insurance. But that doesn't go towards the luxury tax. So if they spend that money, no matter what,
they'll
that's
still be taxed.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is, I mean, yeah, I guess Hal gets some more money in his pocket. But I just think, I don't know how you can't improve this roster externally with outside, making a trade or a signing at this point, whether it be a DH and JD Martinez or bringing in Dylan Cease or trying to make a trade with Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins or something, because it's indefinite. Gerrit's not coming back this year. So you can't use that excuse like in 2019 with Severino that, he'll come back in August and he'll be like our trade deadline acquisition. You can't do that. You can't use that excuse. He's absolutely gone.
The thing is with the two pitchers in particular that you mentioned with Alcantara and Cease, they don't seem to be available. The teams will probably are not less inclined to have turnover right before the season starts. I mean, we're a week away. I mean, what's today? March 12th. So, I mean, we're fastly approaching the season. That Japanese series with the Dodgers and Cubs is coming up. You're not going to see a lot of roster turnover. I'd be shocked if they made a move at this point. I'd be very surprised.
And
if it was anything major.
No, I get it. And I more so from Cease, like, because the Padres have a good team, they could still compete. The Marlins, they're not going to win.
Well, but it even seems that the Marlins are less inclined to trade him and trade him at the deadline because, I mean, Alcantara's been injured for a long time.
Yeah.
His value is down. Yeah. They'd probably do better at the trade deadline, like value wise, and that's a smart GM. Pete Bendix is very, very smart guy. Came from the Rays, Rays assistant general manager, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, they've been making smarter trades since he's taken over that team, and I don't imagine that they're going to trade Sandy Alcantara for less than he's worth because he is an ace, and we've seen what he can do. I mean, he's a former Cy Young Award winner. He's an incredible talent. So I mean, to sell low on him doesn't really make that much sense.
Now, here's the thing, lastly, and we talked about the guys needing to step up internally. Max Fried has been an ace in Atlanta, so I'm confident that he can be the ace of this team.
Absolutely.
Carlos Rodon, I'm not too confident in him. No. I mean, he's very inconsistent. It's again, this is what I'm trying to say is, it's easier said than done. We could sit here and talk about how much these guys need to step up, but really the only one I think that has a chance to step up is Max Fried in that ace role, because this is a role he's had. Now, Clark Schmidt, I trust I would think Clark is the number 2, because I would think they want to do lefty, righty, lefty. So maybe I think Rodon's better than Schmidt, but I would probably go Schmidt in game 2. And then Rodon 3.
I doubt that they would push Rodon because think about it, the way that the Yankees operate, it's so like, I guess it's interesting, but the way that they operate, they put so much weight in the amount of money that they're paying these guys. Like, look at DJ LeMahieu. He didn't get DFA'd, even though he should have, and it's because he's getting paid. Stroman's not going to get outright released because he's getting paid so much. Donaldson took forever to get released.
Yeah.
I mean, I can keep going down the list. Aaron Hicks. I mean, there's always someone on the team who's a veteran and who's getting paid money, and that the Yankees will not bench or move back as an ego thing, especially with Carlos Rodon, who's you can make the argument for him being a 2. It's hard to, you're making a more wild argument saying that Clark Schmidt should be the 2 and they view it as a numbers game, you know? So like I can't imagine Clark Schmidt would be the 2. He's gonna it'll be Fried, Rodon, Schmidt, I guess Stroman, yeah, and then Warren will be a 5.
Again, I don't like it. I don't like having Warren as that 5. I just really think you have to look elsewhere. I think you have to.
I think Warren is more likely to step up than Rodon is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess, but
that's how little faith I have in Carlos Rodon. I didn't like the signing at the time, and I don't like it now.
Again, I just don't like the message that sends to the fan base. Because again, I understand. I think it would have made more sense to not even improve the rotation at all before signing Max Fried and expecting Gerrit Cole. Right now, not improving the rotation after losing Gerrit Cole, that's essentially saying, okay, we lose our ace and we're okay with it. Because he's more than just an ace to this team. He was part of the core.
You just got to think about how catastrophic this would have been if they hadn't made that Max Fried signing.
No, totally.
Because you can see a pathway forward with Max Fried.
Max Fried is supposed to be the luxury. Now Max Fried is expected
He's
to
the
be
necessity.
What Gerrit Cole was, which is irreplaceable. And the least you can do is bring in somebody who's pitched in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Kyle Gibson's still out there. I wouldn't touch that.
No.
But someone I also would rather have him than Will Warren every 5th day. Because again, Gerrit is not coming back. So in 2023, it was like Domingo Germán getting some of those starts as the 5th starter. And you still did have Nestor Cortez, and you had Johnny Brito starting game 3. But that was okay because Carlos Rodon was injured, and we expected him to be out for like a month and a half. And then they ended up pushing him back, and that really created bad vibes for the team to start the year. Gerrit's not coming back, so you're telling your fans we're going with Will Warren. He is our 5 until the trade deadline. I don't like what the message that sends.
Did Evaldi sign?
Yeah, he signed a 3-year deal with Texas.
Oh.
Now, I do think we ought to move on football because we got some better news with the Giants. At least
I don't know if I would say better.
Well, Giants are looking to improve their roster, and the Yankees aren't.
So obviously, I imagine much of this discussion is going to be about the quarterback. We're going to save that for later. First, I want to talk about the guys who actually have signed with the New York Giants. So I'm going to start off with what really kind of kicked off free agency for the Giants. Their big sign, at least at the beginning, was Paulson Adebo, cornerback from the Saints. Obviously, listen, I talked about it before on the show. The Giants desperately needed to improve their secondary. They were dead last in the NFL last year and getting turnovers, getting interceptions. I mean, their lead interception getter last year had only 1. A bunch of guys kind of held the title. There's like 5 different guys who had 1 interception. That was the most we had. Not a single guy on the team last year had multiple interceptions. Paulson Adebo changes that. He's a ball hawk. There's a lot of concerns over whether he draws more flags. He kind of generates penalties. However, he is a guy who makes plays for the football. He's gotten a lot of interceptions. Last year, his season got cut short. He only played in 7 games because he ended up having a broken leg. But listen, he's going to be expected to do a lot here. He's going to be expected to slide into that cornerback 1 role. But I will say I do like him in that role more than Deontay Banks because I like a guy who makes aggressive plays for the football. And I think he's going to be a good part of the secondary. And that really kind of goes to show you, I think, at least in my opinion, the secondary, I think the biggest X factor is Deontay Banks because we talked about how Deontay Banks was a first-round pick in 2023. He was supposed to be expected to be a cornerback 1. He hasn't been that so far. His second year definitely was worse than his rookie year. They hired a new defensive backs coach, so I'm looking forward to see if maybe we can get a little bit of something out of him because, listen, the pressure's off him. He's not going to be expected to guard all these teams' number 1 wide receivers. Deontay Banks isn't going to be on A.J. Brown. He's not going to be on Terry McLaurin. He's not going to be on CeeDee Lamb. That's Paulson Adebo's job now. So seeing how Deontay Banks does against those number 2 cornerbacks, I'm looking forward to seeing. The other big sign they made in the secondary too was Javon Holland. Now, I did not think the Giants were going to go for safety. It kind of was a shocking move to me because also another news, Jason Pinnock, who was their starting safety, ended up leaving to go to the 49ers. But Javon Holland is a guy who obviously was at the top of the free agent market. Many consider him the best safety on the free agent market. The Giants got him for $15 million a year, and he's a good player. I think he will make a good impact on this team. But this is when I go back to question Joe Shane because if you remember, the whole reason as to why Xavier McKinney went to the Packers and had an all-pro season for the Green Bay Packers instead of the Giants is because Joe Schoen said that he does not think the safety position is worth the money and should be valued that high and spend it in free agency. And what does he do the second his job is on the line? He turns right around and he gives Javon Holland $15 million a year when Xavier McKinney would have only costed $2.5 million more per year, a homegrown player who, by all accounts, stayed on the field. He was kind of this team's Iron Man in 2023, yet Joe Schoen let him walk. So it makes me question the mentality, makes me question his philosophy. The one part I do like, I actually love about both Adebo and Holland, however, is that they both are very young, both 25 years old. They both have 2 or 3 year contracts. There's a lot of room for improvement. I think that secondary will really be able to grow together, which in the NFL is great to see. I think that core being able to develop together. Other moves they made in terms of size, they got Chauncey Golston from the Dallas Cowboys. They gave him 3 years, $19.5 million. More depth pieces on the D line to go alongside Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns. They got a couple swing tackles as well. They got James Hudson from the Browns, and also just a couple of hours ago they signed Stone Forsythe. So not guys you really expect are going to get a lot of starting time, but say if there's an injury, they're guys who are going to start on this offensive line, which is crucial because when Andrew Thomas went down last year, the Giants' offensive line was another disaster because they had guys like Chris Hubbard starting at left tackle for a majority of games, which did not work, and it would never work. They also got Roy Robertson Harris to go alongside Dexter Lawrence on the D line. I don't expect them to stop there. I think you need to go to the draft to get another guy, D tackle to pair alongside Dexter Lawrence. You can't keep expecting in that D tackle room all the burden to be placed on Dexter Lawrence. Don't get me wrong. In my opinion, he's the best nose tackle in this league, but he needs more help. They also got Chris Board for their special teams as well. And then the most shocking move they made so far is they re-signed Darius Slayton. Now, Darius Slayton is the longest tenured Giant along with Dexter Lawrence, and I, by all accounts, expected him to leave. I'm happy he's still here because he is that veteran leader. He's been for a lot with this team. He's been here since 2019. One of the few guys left from this team that can say he was a teammate of Eli Manning. He actually caught Eli Manning's last ever touchdown pass, and he's still here with us. So if I was Darius Slayton, I would have left. I don't really see much of why, especially because when Joe Schoen and Brian Dable first took over, Darius Slayton was a healthy scratch when they first started off. That first game they had against Tennessee in 2022, Darius Slayton did not even suit up to play because that's how little they valued him. But this is why I love Darius Slayton as well, is because he was able to really fight back, solidify his role on this team. He's a leader. He's a guy who I really think is a huge part of what they want this culture to be going forward. So for that reason, I'm happy he's here. And it's crazy enough to say, but over these next couple of years, Darius Slayton has a chance to really move up the Giants receiving leader books. I mean, he could be a guy who, by the end of his tenure, could be second in all-time Giants receiving yards. So it really goes to show you how long he's been here for, and I'm happy Slayton's back.
Now, before we continue, some more announcements. WIUR is looking for e-board positions for the fall semester. All positions are open. Go to WIUR Gales Radio on Instagram and click the link in the description if you're interested in joining the e-board for next semester. The Giants, we're going to talk about the quarterback in a couple minutes. All right, that's kind of the big talking point of all of this, because that's this whole saga there. Listen, I appreciate that they're right. Shane, obviously, he's doing it for his job, right? But he's making additions. He's making improvements to this roster. He is trying. As you mentioned, I don't understand why not just bring in Xavier McKinney last year. It's kind of just a, sour taste in your mouth, just being left there for a while, having to see McKinney have that success, and then, we acknowledge that we shouldn't have got rid of him, so we're just going to try to patch that wound now, and see how that comes across.
It's a bad process.
No, absolutely. But this is a horribly run organization, so we have to understand. On the other side of town, the Jets are bringing in Justin Fields as their quarterback.
It's the only quarterback on the market that they haven't ruined yet besides Russell Wilson. And why would Russell Wilson want to come to the Jets?
No, there's no reason to. So listen, good for the Jets. I'm assuming he's going to be starting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll pair well with Breece Hall.
He was college teammates with Gerrit Wilson.
Yeah, and Gerrit Wilson was his wide receiver in college, so maybe. But I mean, I think Justin Fields had a lot of chances.
I don't think he can be much worse than
I don't
Aaron
know.
Rodgers.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to be much better than he has been with the Jets of all teams.
So that's interesting. But it's the same old Jets. I guess. Back to the Giants, though. It all comes down to quarterback. I guess that we might as well bring that up now.
Yeah, I guess we kind of have
Because
to get into
that
it, don't
really
we?
is the meat of this whole argument.
Let
with
me
the
before I
Giants.
get into this discussion, let me make sure that Aaron Rodgers has not announced where he's signing yet. He has not. So there we go. So let's
But
continue.
what was the news with Rodgers that we got today,
So
or
Aaron
Wilson rather?
or
It was
Russell
like I think
Wilson.
Russell Wilson something happened there.
Well, Russell Wilson did announce. Well, he didn't announce it, but it was announced that he's going to visit with the Cleveland Browns
All right.
tomorrow, and then he's going to fly into New York and visit with the Giants on Friday. So I have to circle back, of course, though, and start talking about
Yeah, of
Aaron
course.
Rodgers. So as you all know, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers is on the open market as a free agent. The new league year just passed, so the Jets just made him available. So I originally thought that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to have the biggest market. I said it last week on this show. I thought the Giants made the most obvious sense just from the standpoint of how this regime needs to win now, and there's not necessarily a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers to be, it's not like they're expecting a Super Bowl in New York. We're not. If Aaron Rodgers won 9 or 10 games, the fan base would be more than happy. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers have come in and seem to be the number one suitor for Aaron Rodgers, and I do have some thoughts on that because the Pittsburgh Steelers did have Russell Wilson last year. They won 10 games. They got blown out in the wild card by the Baltimore Ravens. And this is just what bothers me about the Pittsburgh Steelers potentially beating out the New York Giants for the services of Aaron Rodgers. Because when you compare the Pittsburgh Steelers and you compare the New York Giants and what Aaron Rodgers would mean to each team, the New York Giants ever since Eli Manning retired, so I'll say for the past 6 years, have had consistently the worst quarterback play in the NFL. You could say that 1 year, Daniel Jones, he was an average NFL quarterback. But besides that, you look at his numbers, he was awful. All those other years. And people are quick to forget this because the Giants were awful last year. Not a lot of people watched those games. I watched those games. The first couple months of the season, the Giants were in a lot of those games. I'm going to go back to the Cowboys game on Thursday Night Football. They lost that game 20-15. The defense played well. Every other facet played well. What was the one problem? They couldn't get in the end zone.
Oh my God.
Chris was just showing a picture of Trevor Bauer going to the Yankees. That'd be interesting. But moving back to Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't he in Japan?
Well, basically, the context of that, real quick, before sorry to interrupt you, Colin. I didn't want this to be. I didn't want this to get mentioned on there. But Trevor Bauer comes out and says, "Oh, who wants a Cy Young Award winner for free?" I see the Yankees got an injury. It's not happening. Don't even touch that.
No, it would have happened already.
Do not touch that, please. Whatever you do, I'd rather Will Warren than Trevor Bauer. But continue.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. So back to that game against the Cowboys. The Giants had 5 field goals. They couldn't get in the end zone because the quarterback was unable to lead them there.
All right.
Remember that game we saw against the Bengals on Sunday Night Football? They scored 7 points. They held the Bengals offense to 10 points the entirety of that game. The offense couldn't score points. You look up and down the schedule last year, there are so many games that the team could have won if they had a quarterback behind center. Yeah. So I don't think it's that unreasonable as to why Brian Dable, after that Colts game, was pounding the table saying, if you gave me at least somewhat of competent quarterback play, I could win games. And that's what the Giants need. So what Aaron Rodgers does for the Giants is just imagine. I want you to imagine the two different scenarios here. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants and he wins 9 or 10 games. He is beloved in New York, I think, personally. I mean, just with how unwatchable the past couple seasons have been. He wins 9 or 10 games in Pittsburgh. They're calling for Mike Tomlin's head. Yeah. They're going to want Mike Tomlin to be fired. They're going to be asking for Aaron Rodgers to get out of there. And that's it. And listen, Aaron Rodgers is more than confident in his abilities right now. And I think he's going to be more respected in New York if he wins than he does in Pittsburgh, because you see what they're doing to Russell Wilson right now. He won them 10 games and he went to the playoffs, and they are more than quick enough to get him out of the door. I mean, I'm looking at Twitter right now. There is not a single Pittsburgh Steelers fan on Twitter who wants Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. You look at Giants Twitter, they're begging for the guy. It's just the stark contrast I see here. And I understand the fact that the Steelers are the better run organization. They have the better head coach than Mike Tomlin. They're the more consistent franchise, but you would be so much more appreciated in New York than you would be in Pittsburgh, because I'm just seeing what they're doing to Russell Wilson right now. I'm seeing how the Pittsburgh Steelers fans react. I mean, they have much higher expectations. They're expecting that Aaron Rodgers is going to go there and lead into a Super Bowl. It's night and day to me when I look at the differences. And it comes down to money. I don't think it comes down to money. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to ultimately decide where I think he has the best chance to win. The Giants are going to offer more money. It's been reported it could get near $40-50 million. I mean, that's insane. It's not what I thought Aaron Rodgers would have gotten. I honestly, originally when we were having this conversation, I thought it was going to be a minimum because I didn't think any team was going to go near him. That's what I originally thought. But once I saw actually Justin Fields sign with the Jets, I realized the Steelers had to pivot somewhere else, and that's why they're now talking about Aaron Rodgers. So it's frustrating to me to see, because I truly do believe that I think, as crazy as to say, I know the Steelers are the better team. I think that the Giants make more sense for Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to move his home. He gets that partnership with Malik Neighbors, which, by the way, the Giants were pitching very heavily to him. The fact that he gets to play with Malik Neighbors. I know the Steelers just made that move for DK Metcalf, but Malik Neighbors is a far better receiver than DK Metcalf is. I'm sorry. It's the truth. And we look at the Giants defense right now. I know I've talked a lot about how the roster was bad last year. They had a lot of injuries. I'm looking at the Giants defense right now. And listen, I know they won 3 games last year, but the defensive line of Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Micah McFadden, and Bobby Okereke at linebacker spot. You're improving the defense. You got to see if they improve. A lot of it really depends on how Drew Phillips and Tyler Nubin do in year 2. It's not that bad of a football team. And they would have won a lot more games last year if they actually had an NFL quarterback behind center. I mean, so many of the games we saw at the end of last year, we saw Drew Lock, Tim Boyle, Tommy DeVito all trot out there, and they scored 10 points a game. You don't think Aaron Rodgers, say if this offense maybe was able to put up 22 points a game, you don't think they could be an 8 or 9 win team? I know it's ludicrous for me to say this, but I see a scenario where it happens. I could genuinely see it if Aaron Rodgers doesn't fall off a cliff, and he is the quarterback we saw for the Jets last year. And like I said, I think that if the Pittsburgh Steelers do what I think they're going to do, and that is win 9 or 10 games and lose in the wild card round again, Aaron Rodgers is going to get run out of Pittsburgh next year. Whereas if he wins 9 or 10 games in New York, he's guaranteed another year.
Absolutely. And listen, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you have to think about your legacy in New York because it's compromised right now with what he did with the Jets, right? They hate him. They think of him as a bad memory, another bad memory of their history of bad quarterback play. Aaron Rodgers, the fact that he comes in here as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and couldn't even bring the Jets to the playoffs, that's not what you want if you're Rodgers. And so you have an opportunity to stay in the same stadium and leave New York beloved by at least half of this city in tri-state area. And so you don't have to move, as you mentioned. You're not with the great organization, but maybe that allows for you to have more keys to the kingdom, like he did with the Jets, kind of being the leader of this team, being the guy that gets listened to, and he makes the decisions that he wants. Devontae Adams obviously signed. I don't know if we mentioned that.
No, he did sign with the Los Angeles Rams, $23 million a year for Devontae Adams.
How do we think of that?
Oh, I mean, listen, the Rams needed the pivot plan after they moved off Cooper Kupp. I'm not sure it's Devontae Adams in 2025 is still worth $23 million a year, but they're pushing all their chips to the table now because they got Matthew Stafford. Remember how big of a push the Giants made to get Stafford, but they're doing the most they can to win now, so I respect that for the Rams.
Which is the Rams. The Giants, though, need a quarterback. And hopefully it's Aaron Rodgers. Listen, because I'll ask you now, what do they do if it's not Rodgers or Wilson? I would imagine it's one of those two, but what would be the option behind that?
I've seen the word on Twitter a lot, that's the Giants' doomsday scenario, and I think it is because, listen, in my opinion, because people are saying, you could just wait for the draft, the fact that the Giants are pushing this hard, we're pushing this hard for a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford and a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers proves to you that they don't believe in Shedeur Sanders, or that maybe they don't even believe in Cam Ward, because if you truly think that they're these transcendent talents of years past, if you think that you're getting Jaden Daniels, you're forgetting CJ Stroud, you're not moving mountains to get a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers or a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford. So in that regard, it actually does make sense. I do like the process that Joe Schoen has here, but if you don't get Aaron Rodgers or you don't get Russell Wilson, am I supposed to expect you to convince me that you do love Shedeur Sanders all of a sudden? Am I supposed to believe that this is the guy who you think can be the leader of this franchise for the next 10 or 15 years if you're so adamant at getting the veteran quarterback instead? And maybe the veteran quarterback instead is a Jameis Winston or a Joe Flacco. If I have to watch Jameis Winston or Joe Flacco start multiple games next season, I'm not going to enjoy watching the team because that's what Aaron Rodgers brings you. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, as I said on this show, I think it would provide the best quarterback play the Giants have gotten since 2015, that year of Eli Manning, really the last true great year that Eli Manning had in his career, where he was second in the NFL in touchdown passes. But I really do want Aaron Rodgers, as you can tell. I think that he would really try to, because what do Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen need to do? They need to win now. And another reason, kind of the same thing I said with Matthew Stafford, the reason why I would love the Aaron Rodgers move, because I see it going one of two ways. I see it going the way I said, where Aaron Rodgers leads the Giants to the playoffs. Maybe they make some noise. And it's one of the greatest comeback stories of all time for both the Giants, for Aaron Rodgers, for Joe Schoen, for Brian Daboll. Or I see it being a complete disaster like the Jets and everyone gets fired. But listen, that's also a good scenario for us fans because that means we get to reset and get a new GM, get a new head coach, get a new quarterback, get to restart on the franchise. So for that reason, as I said, I believe that Aaron Rodgers is the way to go. I think Aaron Rodgers is the answer. And when this offseason first started, I didn't believe in that. I thought that no matter what, you have to get the rookie quarterback. But if you're looking about what makes sense for the direction of his organization, because another point I want to get into as well is a lot of the great teams in the NFL, because people just expect that you get to put in the rookie quarterback and it goes well. That was the case for the Texans with Stroud, and it was the case for the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. You look at the other teams that have been successful in this league, the Kansas City Chiefs. They were perennial winners. They always made the playoffs before they got Patrick Mahomes because they had a good system in place. The Buffalo Bills broke their playoff drought. They made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. That's when they got Josh Allen. The Cincinnati Bengals were a very good team throughout the majority of the 2010s with Andy Dalton and AJ Green. And that's when Joe Burrow came in after the fact. The Giants are a dysfunctional organization. They're a disaster. So if you just think that you're going to get a guy who's going to come in and be a part of the system, I mean, you need a transcendent talent. Right. And you don't have that in this draft, according to what the scouts are saying. So that's why I believe you need Aaron Rodgers to get in there, win some games, build a culture. And if that doesn't work out, you start from scratch. So I am begging Aaron Rodgers to sign with the New York Giants. However, if I'm making my bet right now, he signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think Russell Wilson ends up being a Giant.
Wow.
Is there anything else?
No hope on Rodgers.
I mean, truly, once I saw Justin Fields go to the Jets, I kind of accepted Russell Wilson, which, for the record, I need to talk about Russell Wilson a little bit because you don't have a show for another 2 weeks. And
no, you're good.
I think there is a chance that Russell Wilson is the quarterback of this team. Obviously, not as good as Aaron Rodgers. We can agree on that. But if he is in there as a veteran role, maybe if they draft a quarterback to mentor him, I like Russell Wilson in that role probably more than I like Aaron Rodgers, because one thing I didn't like a lot in Denver is, listen, I always felt that in Seattle, Russell Wilson was one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. I felt that he was perennially a top 5 quarterback. People always attribute it to the Legion of Boom and Pete Carroll, but you look at those last couple of years, 2017, 2018, 2019, Russell Wilson carried the Seattle Seahawks. Once he got to Denver, though, the narrative started to shift. Obviously, he played much worse, but just the media, how they were attacking him, his personality, I thought that was really strange. I didn't like that. I think Russell Wilson is a good guy and a good teammate. I think that he will do what is asked of him in New York, and I think he's a good fit there. But it's also kind of crazy to think about that too. I mean, I'll talk about it more if they do eventually end up signing Russell Wilson. But you remember how I mentioned last year, he came into the building and Joe Shane told him, you cannot compete with Daniel Jones. You have no chance of competing for the starting job. And now he could be our starter next year. So how do you like that? But yeah, I think that after the meeting on Friday, I think Russell Wilson ends up being a Giant by the end of the weekend. We'll see if I'm wrong. Like I said, I want Aaron Rodgers, but it's what I will say is it's at least been fun to watch, because past couple off seasons, it's just been, we've known that Daniel Jones is the quarterback. I can at least say that the Giants have me entertained. The Giants have me checking Twitter every second of the day, which is something that I haven't done for this team in a very long time. So I don't know what to make of that, but I will say interesting times to come.
Awesome.
Wow.
Now, it came to my attention that while I was gone last week, you guys did a couple tier lists on here.
Yeah. I guess we don't really have much else to talk about. So
yeah.
Tier list?
Yeah.
Tier
Now,
list.
listen, I'm down to give my opinion on non-sports related topics.
All right. Does anyone have their computer? Because I don't have mine.
We.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotta go to the back rooms.
Yeah.
Do you want me to grab it? I'll grab it.
No, it's my bag. Yeah, I got it.
All right. Look at the aura when he walks.
Yeah.
Chris, walk past the camera. Let's see I want the audience to see what we see every day.
This?
No. Just the walk. Just the walk.
Walk?
Yeah. The aura farming walk. Oh no! You're not doing it right now.
What's the aura farming walk?
No. Put it down. Put it down.
Top down.
Yes.
Okay. So this is, I guess I'm aura farming the way I walk.
No. You're not doing it. Look, he's not doing it.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Oh, he's getting a little bit of it.
All I'll say is Chris is being a little shy for the camera right now, but we'll move on to our tier list.
Ladies, he's single. Fruit? Oh, wait, you don't like fruit. This kid doesn't like fruit. He does not like fruit. Can you believe it?
Not a fruit.
Not a big fruit guy.
Well, I'll look up tier list. Let's see if anything sticks out.
We could do fast food restaurant, like fast food places.
I feel like a lot of them are like there's like those Carl's Jr.
Well, I mean, we could just do like is there like a section for like unranked? Like a unknown?
We got kids TV shows like SpongeBob and all that.
Oh, we could do that. But there might be some we haven't seen.
Fruit, video game, FNAF characters.
FNAF
You see, I'm not too familiar with FNAF, so I don't know if we can do that.
No. Jesse would love that though.
Disney movies, Star Wars.
Colin's not a big Star Wars guy. I don't know about you.
Well, Chris is looking up a tier list. Another quick Aaron Rodgers nugget. The Vikings are apparently interested as well. Imagine if that happens.
I saw Brett Favre saying that like he should consider the Vikings because they have very good skill players.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
That'd be that would throw a little bit of a wrench in the plans.
Well, that's a doomsday scenario because
that
Los
is the
going back
doomsday
to the
scenario.
Steelers. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like you might as well sound off like the alarms if that happens.
I'll look for fast food. How about that?
All right, we'll do fast food. I think that's the one we could do the best.
Best fast food, casual restaurants.
Casual restaurants.
Okay. I don't know. A&W. I don't know what that is.
Is there like an
Is that a thing?
unranked?
Is that
There's a
sushi
never
thing?
had tier, so put
Never
it-
had,
Alright,
but it never had.
All right. I don't think any of us have had. Oh,
I mean, you gotta ask. You can't just like
and oh, my laptop just crashed. Well, that's fine.
Chris.
Well, I did see Carl's Jr. next.
It's fully crashed.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I could probably pull it up on my phone.
Well, that's not really.
That's
like,
not
no.
that.
It's not really optimal.
Damn.
suboptimal.
Oh wow.
You just pull it up on your phone.
Yeah.
That's the only other option we have.
Yeah.
We could sit here in silence.
do
We
would
could
you-
pray for 20
do-
minutes.
do
Or
would you
we could
rather
talk
questions?
about
Would you rather questions? I'll find a very appropriate list of would you rather questions.
let's go back to the sports.
I think we should stick with sports.
Yeah.
Sports?
Yeah, I don't know if the would you rather questions would be.
Well, you guys have your own, but there's
Oh,
I'm
Chris,
sure
so
there's
you're
a,
acting like
sure
you're
there's
all
a very
innocent.
appropriate, very
PG clean.
yes.
Okay,
but
Chris. Well, move
We
next
could do-
topic. Next topic, Chris. Who is the Giants quarterback going to be next year?
Aaron Rodgers.
You think so?
I think so. I do. Don't ask me why, but yeah, if it really is between the Steelers and the Giants, I do think there's I guess it's biased, but I just feel like the Giants are better. for
Colin, on
Aaron
a scale of
Rodgers.
1 to 10, if Shador Sanders and Cam Ward aren't available on the third pick and the Giants choose Jackson Dart, what's the
With the
level?
third overall pick,
Yes, what's the level of crash out?
is 10 the most and one's the least?
Yeah,
That's like that's probably a 10. Honestly, I think that is a certified 10.
I feel like I'd text you like during that Indianapolis game when I was like, I'm sorry, Colin.
I mean, for ranking all-time Giants crash outs, that Colts game was definitely at the top. The Daniel Jones draft pick was right up there as well.
Wow, really?
No, it was. I was not very happy that night.
I feel like Jackson Dart would be even. Is that better or a worse pick than Daniel Jones?
it's just.
I mean, obviously, you already know what happened with Daniel Jones. You don't know with Jackson Dart, but like looking at it like face value.
Well, I guess back when we drafted Daniel Jones, I had more of like a childlike belief in the Giants as to where they knew what they were doing. Like, we had Eli Manning for 16 years and we're getting the next guy. So maybe they know what they're doing. With Jackson Dart, I have no trust in this franchise at all. So I would lose my mind, to be honest with you.
What if it was like a second round pick?
If it was a second round pick, I could justify that more. But if it's the third overall pick in the draft, I'm going to lose my mind.
Interesting. If it's not a quarterback, what's the third overall pick for you? What do you think?
It's either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, whoever doesn't go. If I had to pick right now, that's tough. I think if you get Rodgers, you draft Travis Hunter. If you can't get a veteran, you draft Abdul Carter.
Interesting. That'll be a stacked defensive line, defensive line,
Would
but
be.
defensive end group.
How about this? After Gerrit Cole goes down, what is the Yankees win total next year? Put a number on it right now.
90.
89.
89, really?
It's only one less than the one you said, bro.
But like 80. All right, I think 90 just has more aura than.
yeah, but
or
they won like
90 has
9.
more
Yeah,
than
we gotta be
89.
realistic here.
But like,
you know what? Last year they should have won at
something
least
about
like
being in the 80s.
last year they would have won at least like 98 games or like 95, at least 95 games, I think. If Clay Holmes wasn't
They won
absolutely
93
like
last
an
year.
automatic blown save.
Last year was
at one point.
93. Said 94.
Was it last year?
I don't think it was more.
No,
than
it was like
92.
92, I think.
No way.
I'll check. You do the tier list.
In case you're
I do
wondering,
have the
my
tier list
guess
up.
is 85.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do have the list up if you guys wanted to keep this. Like,
Yes,
keep
we
doing this.
can do
Okay.
that.
All right, we're starting with Arby's. Now, for reference,
94, you're right.
for reference, it is the best. Which, I mean, I would imagine only one or two are going in the best. But then again, the best is basically A tier because after the
Yeah,
best,
well, no. Just
it's
do
B,
it as, like,
C, D, F, and then never had. So we're starting with Arby's.
I think Arby's is a C.
I've never had Arby's. so
I
can't-
honestly, I do agree with Colin. Arby's is a C. I had it a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed it. I haven't had it since, and for some reason, the thought of
Actually,
it
the
is
last
disgusting.
time I had
It
Arby's
doesn't
was probably
disgust me,
May.
but I've had multiple times where I've really enjoyed it, and there are times where I haven't as much. So I feel it's a very hit or miss type.
It feels
fast food company.
very much like you're trying to get a heart attack.
I wouldn't go
Like,
that far. 'Cause
clogging,
I
because
felt
the amount of cheese and just meat
Oh my God,
combination is
Chris.
insane.
The nutrition
like,
expert over here.
No, but listen, I'll go to Chick-fil-A and get the
Okay.
chicken nuggets and fries, and that'll be my meal.
Pack it up, Christina.
Something about Arby's just disgusts me. I'm sorry. It's something about it. And I've enjoyed it when I've had it. But something about it just
All
kinda
right, what do you
disgusts
have?
me.
Where are we
So
putting
we
Arby's?
put it at C. Have you
All
ever
right.
had it?
No, I have not. Ever.
No. They don't have it in Jersey, I guess.
No, they do. I just
do?
never had it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Alright,
because
so-
like, why would you go to Arby's when you can go to like Subway or like
Just-
Jersey Mike's?
I already put a cut. There's the next couple I put in never had. Blimpies, American Subs.
No, I've never had.
My parents have had it. They said it's good, but I've never had it. Boston Market, I've had.
I've had Boston Market
Actually,
I
as
have
well.
not.
what do you
I
think
enjoyed
about it?
Boston Market more as a kid. As an adult, I don't enjoy it as much.
I
I'm not sure
enjoy-
where you put that.
I enjoy the idea of Boston Market though, because it's essentially Thanksgiving at any time of the year. Because you can have, but I mean, although it's not always turkey, it's chicken, ham, like beef, like meatloaf.
Think they got the
they've
chipper
had as
truck on
well.
this?
I don't think so.
No, I
unfortunately.
don't see chipper truck here.
Damn.
Although I can't see all of them in one thing, so maybe that'll pop up. I'm gonna put Boston Market I'm gonna put it at D.
That's fair.
I think that's
it's
fair.
worse than Arby's.
I think it's the idea of it though. It provides a home cooked meal as fast food. So you have like the potatoes and the green beans with the chicken. So it's a good home cooked meal, but it could be executed better. A couple here, Bojangles.
Never had 'em.
guaranteed. None of us have had
I've
that.
heard it's very good though.
A&W Baja Fresh. I'm
No,
assuming that this
no.
is all west southwestern stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Burger King.
Burger King
Now, if it was
better than
up to
McDonald's
me,
in my
I would
opinion.
put
I
Burger
agree.
King
I
in.
agree.
Now, if it was up to me,
Wow,
I'd put
okay,
Burger
okay.
King in straight F. But
What the?
I don't
heck?
like BurgerKing.
What the
I
heck?
don't like Burger King.
Well, you see, luckily for you, Chris, this is a democracy.
Exactly.
And we outnumber
And that's
you.
why
So-
Thankfully,
you guys
thankfully.
outnumber me, and you
So
make
I
the
say
decision.
Burger King's a B.
B for burger.
You know what? And even though I hate it, I would also put it in B because I respect how much people
Out
do
of fast
enjoy it.
food, burgers, it's not bad. I respect it.
Listen, I
Big
think
fan of their
White
onion rings.
Castle's way worse than Burger King. I'll give Burger King
White
that.
Castle doesn't even deserve to be on the
No,
same
and
list as Burger
I
King.
hope it is not on this list.
It probably is. It definitely
Um,
is, Chris.
There's so many here. There's
Chris,
so
Chris,
many.
we gotta
But
pick
yeah,
up
we
the
gotta
pace
keep
though.
going.
Yeah,
We
I
have
think
to
we
have
only
under
have 12
10
minutes.
We have 10
Just go
minutes.
to the big ones.
No, we have
No,
12
no, no.
minutes.
Just-
Raising Cane's we've never had, but I've heard only great things.
Yes, I've
All
also
right, I'm
heard it's
gonna
very
keep
good.
going here. Have any of you had Checkers? Checkers? Is
Never
this-
heard of
no?
it.
Never heard of it?
No,
No.
Move on.
I've seen it.
All right, put an F. Chick-fil-A.
That's the best.
gotta
That's
be
the best.
That's gotta be the best. I'm putting the next one in the best because it's Chipotle.
Yes, I agree. But
Alright.
you don't like Chipotle.
Church's Chicken, Cookout,
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Culver's, Moe's. These are all the.
Where's Kennedy
large-
Fried Chicken?
Domino's Pizza.
As far as fast food pizza goes, it's pretty good.
I think it's a.
I think it deserves a B
I
think
agree
it's
with
a-
that.
I think it's
because
a
it
C.
is pizza.
I'd say
Really?
it's C. I enjoy Pizza Hut
Explain.
more. Hot take.
I explain. I said explain. I like Papa John's more personally. I do.
Never had Papa John. Actually, no,
I've
I did
never
have
had
Papa
Ireland.
John's. I had it in Ireland, and it was very bad. So I don't know how you would say that.
Well, maybe it's different in America. I don't know. Dairy Queen. I enjoy Dairy Queen for their ice cream. I never had their fast food.
Well, I mean, their ice cream's pretty good.
It's very good. So I'll give it a B, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot of B's here.
Yeah. We have 10 minutes. Pollo Loco, we don't have that around here. Firehouse Subs, I don't know. That sounds like a
No.
Jersey thing.
No.
Five Guys, I love.
I haven't had
Very
Five Guys in
expensive though.
years.
I would give it a B for the price.
You can't do it. I think it has.
No,
to go
it's not
A.
price
You
based,
can't- it's actual quality based, and I'd say it deserves.
But
to be
it's
an A.
either B or the best.
You said, oh, there's no A. You
No,
said,
yeah.
So that's.
Are you putting that on the same level as
So I would
Chick-fil-A?
put it very high B,
I would
which
put
is
it.
equivalent of
I would
A.
put it
I
at a
think.
C.
I think you
but
could. It arguably could be the best, but like arguably, I think you can make the case for it.
As far as
I'd
fast food
spend-
burgers come, where do you think?
It's
I
up
think
there.
it's like the best for me. In my personal.
Then
opinion.
you would say the best
I would say
because you got to rank it based off of what what your
All right,
what its counterparts
I'll
are.
put it at the best because
Their fries are also very good too.
of the best, there are no burger spots. So I'll put Five Guys there for now.
Yeah.
IHOP, they're considering this fast food.
I
IHOP's
not bad.
I think IHOP is a C.
C or B.
I think it's very good breakfast. I've never had dinner there, but people do that. In-N-Out, we've never had, but I've heard only good things.
Yeah,
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey
I've
Mike's
had.
is absolutely the best.
Disagree.
Really?
I
had Jersey Mike's before, and it was not as good as Subway.
Okay, well, you don't know ball.
Well, I've
here we go.
eaten Jersey Mike's before.
no.
Just because it
no,
has
no,
jerk
no, no,
dog.
no.
There we go.
You're wrong about this. Jersey Mike's is infinitely better than Subway.
Just
All right,
because
if it
it
was-
has Jersey, the name doesn't
If it
mean
was
it's good.
if it was
it just is better. It's not because
So what
it's
if it was-
Jersey.
what
it's
if-
just better.
so if it was called Boston Mike's, you would
yes,
was
and I
called
would still be on this right now, being like, this is the best.
Now I've had it once. It was a long time ago. I enjoyed it.
It's
I
very
thought
good.
I didn't get as much for my money though.
Really.
I thought it
Because
was kinda
Jersey Mike's
small.
those sandwiches are more packed. You guys are not getting the right things at Jersey Mike's then. We'll go to Jersey Mike's.
I think it's
you know
because we
what?
have real delis in New York. I think it's
But that's
really-
different.
and
It's
so
this,
it has
we're on
better
fast food.
options.
We're not on does John's Pizza have better pizza than Domino's? We're
no,
talking about Subway versus Jersey Mike's right now.
it's a good
And you're
point.
bringing up
Yeah,
there's
it's
delis
a
in New
good
York.
point.
You're wrong. You're
No,
wrong.
It's a good point, but does that mean it deserves to go in the best? Because at that point, Domino's is one of the better fast food pizza places, and we gave it a C. So what really Subway is the only competitor in the fast food sandwich business, and I don't think that prompts it as deserving the best. But on the flip side, I guess Jersey Mike's being possibly the best sandwich.
If it's
fast
put
food
below B, I will have very nasty things to say when the camera is turned off.
It's
We certainly don't want that.
I better hear what these things are going to be because we're putting it in C.
No, we're not putting it in C.
Well, he said no. You said yes.
Well, no,
I
where
say
did you put it?
mid.
Where did you put it?
I never said that, but I think C's fair.
You
think
want
C?
C.
Where would
I'm
you?
saying-
no,
'cause
where
I'm
would
putting
you
it
put
top.
Where would you put it if it was up to you?
If I was, what else is in D?
There's D has Boston Market.
It might be a D, honestly.
might be a
but
D.
I
But here's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
C, like
You're putting
C
it in
makes the most
D.
sense.
You're putting in D. He's saying the best. I say it was mid. So we're all kind of in the middle. I think the only logical explanation is if it goes or
Where are you
reasoning,
rating it?
C.
You would put it in C.
I would put it in C. I've only had it once. I thought it was good, but
I'm about
I'd
to start
rather go to
tweaking.
I'd much rather go to Avenue right here. Anytime.
That's not what we're comparing it to.
Well,
You're bringing up
that
Avenue.
was
Avenue's
my
not even
rating for
Oh,
Domino's.
is
That was
Avenue
my-
on the is Avenue on the list?
Well, Avenue would get an A.
Avenue's
best.
not on the list.
Jimmy
Avenue's on
John's.
the list.
I don't think we've ever
Never
had.
had Jimmy
Jolly
John's.
Bee. What the hell is that? KFC. I think this.
KFC.
I think KFC
is mid.
Yeah.
C.
C.
Yeah, well, C.
It might
Yeah.
be generous.
Little Caesars. I'm putting that right into F. I don't care.
Never
what you
had
guys
it.
say.
I've never had.
Oh, good. I've had it. It is absolutely horrible. So thank God. Thank God I've had it, so you guys don't have to. Do not ever go to Little Caesars. It's horrible. I feel bad for everyone from Detroit that's like their big thing. McDonald's. I don't think.
Well, I think it's
deserves-
worse than Burger King, so I agree with that. But can we really justify putting McDonald's in C? 'Cause
I
it just
I,
feels
no,
like
can.
I think McDonald's is either
I
the
will
best
sleep
or
like a baby
B.
tonight.
I think
No, I
McDonald's.
understand that.
I mean, it is the fast food place, but
I think it deserves.
at
to
the
go in
same time,
best.
it doesn't.
Chris, put that down. Put that McDonald's down. Put it down. Chris, he's just wrong.
Just because it's like the most famous doesn't mean it's the best.
I think it's not. It's not only that. It's also it's the fact that it's open 24 hours. It's
Many fast
consistent,
food places are
it's
open 24 hours. They're not the
affordable,
only one.
It's affordable. Where are we
There are
going
plenty
after a
of
night
fast
out?
food
We're always
places.
going to McDonald's.
'Cause
Now, don't get
there's-
me wrong.
But imagine
Because
if we had
that's the
Chick-fil-A
only
on
thing.
that fast
That's
food.
the only
Chick-fil-A
thing
was
on North
open,
Ave. That
yes.
is the only thing on North Ave that it's open past 10 o'clock.
Well, I think being
Besides
that
A number one,
consistent player,
which is open till 1 a.m. if anyone wants.
being that
That's all I'm
consistent
gonna
player,
say.
Support small businesses.
Being
Support
that-
small businesses.
being that
Exactly.
consistent player deserves something.
No, it doesn't because
think it
listen,
does.
because listen, you like
It
you wouldn't
deserves
even-
it deserves better than it would be getting because
'Cause
if
what
we were rating McDonald's normally, it would be very low. But I'm saying we should
I
give it
think
a
McDonald's
C.
is very good personally.
No. See,
I
here's
enjoy
what,
it.
here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna close your eyes right now, right? Close your
Right.
eyes. Close your eyes.
All right, what's
Your
my
eyes
eyes?
aren't
What's gonna-
closed.
Close your
what's gonna happen?
eyes.
I'll close my eyes.
So picture a North Avenue where there's no McDonald's, right? And it's
Right.
a Chick-fil-A, and it's open
Okay.
24 hours. And
then,
you gotta,
then
and you no,
absolutely.
keep your eyes closed. Keep your
Okay,
eyes closed.
All right, the eyes
So you're gonna
closed.
tell me that you were doing a tier list, and there's a Chick-fil-A you go to all the time on
I don't know
North
why my eyes
Avenue.
have to be closed.
That's
to this.
open
It's
24
Just keep them
hours.
close. Keep them
All
close.
right.
So there's a Chick-fil-A you go to all the time. It's open 24 hours on North Avenue. Are you telling me you're ever thinking about like, oh, I want to go to McDonald's?
not.
You're not. So
I'm
why
not.
is it? So it's not the best. So it's not the
But
best.
that's what now what Chick-fil-A does. Chick-fil-A isn't
That-
open 24 hours.
Yeah, but we're
and there
talking about the
isn't one
quality
right
of the
here.
food.
We're not.
talking
Yeah.
about the quality of the food. We're not talking about it's open 24 hours. Big
And I
whoop.
think it's
If the food's mid,
consistency.
am I
We're
gonna get
ranking
that
on
affordability.
base of like when we're no. You're
And how
adding
available
variables
it
here.
is.
That's not
I
part of
think
it.
that deserves to be a factor. All right, since
the
we-
actual
since
real
we're on-
rating for McDonald's
All
is a
right,
C,
now-
by the
all
way.
right.
It's a
for the
C.
record.
It's
So
where
well,
did
if
he
you
put
say
it? Where
the
did he
C,
put it?
if you say C and I say the best, we'll put it in B.
No, then I'll put say it's D, so we can get it in C.
Well, he says
Go
D,
down to
C.
D. I'll put D. Oh no, yeah, no. I'll say D. So it has to go down to C now.
No, because D, C, B.
No, say D.
D for Donald's.
Yeah.
All right, so then it goes
Put it
down.
in C.
It goes down to B.
No, it goes down to
Or
C,
C,
boss.
C. All right,
Yes.
C. High C though.
Thank God. Wait.
I see.
Okay.
I
Whatever
see.
helps you sleep
No,
at
no,
night, Chris.
that-
Whatever helps
that'll
you
make-
sleep
no,
at night,
I
Chris.
don't think I'm gonna be able to sleep at night now, but
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
I don't think that's because of McDonald's. Moving on. Panda Express. We already had that.
No.
We got like 2 minutes. to just go
enjoy
to the
it.
heads.
I enjoy Panda Express.
go a little bit quicker.
Papa John's.
That's like that's an F or
all right.
D.
Is there an F tier on this?
Yeah, there is.
Put an F. feel like we
Since
haven't put anything in F.
Yeah, no, we have Little Caesars also have 2 pizza spots. Panera Bread. That doesn't. I don't even
Panera is C.
know. See.
Panera's very good.
They have very good cookies.
Yeah.
Panera Bread. Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut's better than Domino's, and I will die on that hill.
I was not impressed last time I had it. The
neither-
only time
neither
I've
am
had
I.
it. It was very
Pizza
greasy.
Hut's breadsticks are so elite. Don't sleep.
Yeah, but it's called Pizza
I'm a-
Hut.
I'm a
If
C-
it doesn't
I'm
do
a
the
C.
pizza. If
But-
it doesn't do the pizza very well,
No,
then
they
I'm
actually-
I'm a
move it
C.
for
I'm a
me.
C.
They
for
actually
Pizza
do the
Hut.
pizza better than Domino's. Believe
I'm
it
a
or
D
not.
on Pizza Hut.
No one out pizzas the Hut.
I will agree. I will agree. I'll put it in D. I think it's a D as well. I'm not a
It's
fan.
wrong.
Well,
wrong.
Where are you
McDonald's-
putting
listen, I
it?
didn't get McDonald's where I wanted.
It would be
so
like a
it's
B
okay.
for me. It's a B.
Then that's a. I mean,
Popeyes.
that's a low C.
Popeyes.
Popeyes.
I'm not
That's
a fan.
That's a C or a D.
I agree with that.
Because it's
Horrible.
definitely not better
I think
than
it's
Chick-fil-A.
excellent. The aftertaste is horrible. Or like the
I don't think
after-
there is
the
an
feeling.
no.
Not
The,
aftertaste,
I mean,
but like the fact that you regurgitate that
all right.
flavor. and it
Because
just-
I'm the CEO of
you know.
Chick-fil-A. The flavor of Popeye's chicken sandwich is not as good as Chick-fil-A's. However, the crunch and the size of chicken is very good. So I
Right.
will give it its flowers there. But the flavor is just not there.
And I'm
So
moving-
therefore,
yeah.
Popeyes is at least a C.
Now I'm curious.
In
Dom,
conclusion-
Wawa.
Oh, the best.
All right. Well, I've never.
The- You go to Wawa, they have everything.
Well, I don't.
And they do everything very good.
Unfortunately, I don't speak New Jersey, so. I
Well,
don't-
unfortunately, you can't rank
Okay.
it because you've never had it.
All
So
right,
that's
we have
put it
3
in the
minutes.
best.
We have 3 minutes. Sbarro.
I have not had.
Oh, the
Sbarro.
pizza place.
Yes.
That's like a fair say.
I think
I-
it's.
it could-
I
it
would
could be
give.
a
I
low
would
B.
agree because, and I would give it the same reason for McDonald's. It's consistent. It's at every mall, and yeah.
That's
you
kinda-
know
I'm
what
never
you're
like
getting.
unsatisfied after I have
Exactly.
Sparrows.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about McDonald's, and that's why they're both in C. Shake Shack.
Shake Shack's the best.
No,
It's the best.
I would
No.
put Shake Shack in B.
I would put Shake Shack in D.
What?
Yes,
Whoa.
I do not enjoy Shake Shack.
Really?
No, I think
Wow.
it's very, very bad.
I think this is why
I'm not personally
I'm glad
impressed.
I put Five Guys in the best because they give you a higher portion of food. I get nothing at Shake.
I'm
Shack,
okay
but
with putting
plenty
Five
of
Guys in the best. I'm not okay with Shake Shack
in
being
B.
in the best.
It's not in the best. It's in B.
Well, you said it's B, right?
I said it's
He said
B.
the best. I said D.
So and it deserves to go in C, which I can't justify, but I guess that's the only thing that makes sense.
Womp
It's in the
womp.
middle. Subway.
Subway's
F.
a B.
F.
It's an F for me.
Really? That's a.
Read him and
surprised
weep.
not like
Read him and
Subway.
weep.
2 minutes. White Castle F.
F. Yeah.
Absolute F. I don't need to explain.
Easiest F ever.
Taco Bell.
C.
Taco,
for
yeah,
me.
no, I agree. I agree with that. Wendy's, in my opinion, is the best. But
I can make that argument. I can.
What would you say, Dominic?
As far as the Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's are the best of the first.
I think they
out.
make the
Yeah,
best
no, I agree with
burger.
that.
I think they make honestly the best nuggets. Honestly, I agree. I do think. I think they're
Out
way
of
better
those
than
three, you're
McDonald's.
saying?
Of those three, I think they easily make the best nuggets, best
All
burgers.
right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
And I'd argue they make the second best fries. I do. I think they do.
They've upped their game.
I think they have better fries than Burger King. We have Whataburger, but I don't think any of us have had that.
I've not.
What the hell is Wiener Schnitzel? I don't know what that is.
Wiener Schnitzel?
Never heard of that. And lastly, Wingstop. This is a good one because I think
They're the best or they're B. One of the two.
I think
You
they're
take your
B.
pick?
D, C.
Yeah.
We'll keep it at B.
And so that is our list, and that is perfect timing as it is 7:00.
On the dot.
And that should do it for our show.
Wow, what a wonderful day.
Listen, we got a whole fast food ranking in. We talked about the Giants.
The New York Giants will have a quarterback by the time we get to our next show,
Listen,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Maybe not if they draft someone.
And the New York
That's Doomsday.
Yankees, Gerrit Cole will still be dead by the time we're here in 2 weeks.
We have started playing. Is that?
I don't know. No, yeah, no.
Yeah, day
no.
before opening day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, day before. There you go. Look at that.
What a
So that's gonna be a big show. Day before opening day. That would probably be like season predictions /
I'd
Giants
imagine.
quarterback talk. So that's gonna be a
Yes.
big show.
When's the NFL draft?
The last Thursday of April. I believe it's like April 26th, 27th.
Oh, wow. It's really late.
Yeah.
All right.
2 weeks from now, be there or be square.
Yeah.
NFL draft special?
And vote the Woodlawn station for show of the week,
Yes.
please. So we don't. We
Well, I mean, we already know.
So we
we're the
don't
show
have
of
to
the
read
week,
that the
so.
ball knowers keep winning this every week. So, listen, they're doing good work over there. Shout out to Luke Dolan. He's the GOAT. But listen, that's all. That's all she wrote for our show, folks. Thank you for watching. And we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Have a great spring break, everybody. What a wonderful day.